Welcome back. You're still tuned in to News and Views with myself, Salai Loma Kudia. The time is 8 minutes past 9, and this hour of News and Views is proudly sponsored by Africa Muslims Agency, a beacon of hope to communities in Africa and beyond. And as we enter the final, most sacred nights of Ramadan, the spiritual generosity and compassion is at its peak. Across the world, millions are fasting, praying, and giving in charity. But for many struggling communities, this holy month is a time for immense hardship. One organization making a tangible difference is none other than Africa Muslims Agency, which has been working in 23 nations throughout Ramadan, providing food to those in need. Thanks to your generosity, your involvement, and the donations that you give. And joining us live from Kabul in Afghanistan is Hassan Choonara, the regional director of AMA, who's going to be giving us an update on how their Ramadan rollout has been unfolding, how families, especially widows and orphans, who are being supported, and how AMA is continuing its vital work in places like Afghanistan and in Gaza through this month of Ramadan. And we'll also hear about the Eid preparations, and most importantly, how the Meals of Mercy campaign in these blessed nights has been a welcomed, I think, gesture by those that are in need. Hassan, Jazakallah so much. Thank you so much for joining us. Welcome to Salam Media. Always a pleasure chatting to you.
Walaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Salam shukran for having us, and it's a pleasure coming to you from a very bitterly cold Afghanistan.
The pleasure is all ours. I think first and foremost, we can just get into the conversation. Where are you right now? I see there's a lot happening. You are in Afghanistan, but which part? And what are you guys up to?
We are at the AMA office of the compound in Kabul, Afghanistan. What you see behind me, alhamdulillah, or the camera will show you, is the families coming to receive their benefit of what you perhaps call a food basket, but more than just a food basket. And if I can take you through some of these items, these are widow families, these are orphans, families that AMA have been assisting over a number of years, alhamdulillah. And through the generosity of donors, these are identified families, and obviously today is their day to come to the office and get their benefit of the meals of mercy made possible through the mercy of Almighty
All right. We seem to have lost
Allah, and through
Hassan.
the generosity of the donors, families means for some of the items. We have Brother Imam with me, will she help me with this? This is the rice, 50 kgs of rice. I know this will last a family, got maybe close to 2 months, inshallah. We also got this is the rice. That was flour, sorry, so that was flour, 50 kgs. This is the rice, alhamdulillah, as you can see here. It goes to the family. You've got the pasta, you've got the beans, you've got the tea, you've got the sugar, and you have the oil. Now, this, alhamdulillah, will benefit a family more than a month, alhamdulillah. This is made possible. This is part of the Meals of Mercy campaign. This is going to widow families, orphan families. As you know, Afghanistan, majority of the population find themselves in need. And sad to say, most of those families who are in need are orphans and widows, who are really fighting for survival every single day. So, just to share one story, just a few weeks ago, when our teams from South Africa were here, we went to visit a family, and when I was sitting with the family, they got to find out that day the mother acquired poison to give to her children because she could not bear for days and weeks the children crying out of hunger. And that night she planned obviously to feed them that because she could not bear the pain, what they were going through. And alhamdulillah, Allah made it such that the team arrived that day, provider with means, alhamdulillah, and the dynamic changed. Your support towards Meals of Mercy is not just about food, but you're literally changing somebody's life. That day that mother received that food basket, it stopped her from feeding her children poison. And today is still able to breathe, and see another day. And you'll see them obviously during the course of the week, when they come to the office and when we visit them at home. So, my brothers and sisters, this is the Meals of Mercy. As you can see, the ladies and with the children are here to receive their benefit. Alhamdulillah, which will benefit them beyond the month of Ramadan. We're going to go to the hot meal, Sarayla, but feel free to interrupt as you wish.
Yeah, yeah. I just want to jump in there because you guys are so close to the story, as we would put it. If it wasn't for projects like this, if it wasn't for campaigns like this from AMA, I'm sure it would have been a really, really bleak time for those orphans and widows this Ramadan. Would you care maybe to just expand on that a bit about how difficult it would have been for them if you guys were not there, with the Meals of Mercy campaign, which I think is very, very incredible. I was actually excited seeing one of the packages there. I thought it was maize meal. I thought it was pap that you're giving to the people of Afghanistan.
Salala, like I mentioned the story, I mean, without the support of the organization, like I just shared the story with the mother who was going to feed her children poison, and it just was a few weeks ago, because they don't have means, and every single day children are crying, going to bed hungry. Mothers are put into vulnerable spaces, vulnerable situations to pay the rent for where they're staying, also provide food for their children. Like I said, majority of those in need do not have any male structures or male support at home, and so ladies are found to be in vulnerable spaces, and you can imagine the pains that they are going through every single month to provide for their families. And so the support of the donor support towards AMA's Meals of Mercy in the month of Ramadan and beyond uh, really brings that dignity back to the mothers and the widows in Afghanistan. We see it firsthand, my brothers and sisters. We see the difference. You can see those that are lined up are 90% ladies, or all of them ladies and children who are receiving the benefit today. Obviously, our team are helping them with barrows, wheelbarrows to take the food because it's huge parcels, alhamdulillah. But your support is not just about food. One is, yes, they have the nourishment of food, but also you're really protecting the women and the children of Afghanistan. This is the hot meals you see behind us. This will be
Mm.
given out tonight at the mass iftar. We're obviously going to pack this into the containers later on, inshallah. This is the carrots, it's raisins, it's rice, it's meat, it's bread, it's water, and you can see the meat here, alhamdulillah. So I've been traveling a lot today, Sarada. I just got here this morning,
Mm.
so I'm fasting as well, but I'm quite hungry. But I can get the smell of the aroma of the meat, and it's still although we're about 2.5 hours ahead of South Africa, it's still morning, and so we still got to deal with the rest of the day. But alhamdulillah, you can see the steam, the meat. This will be put into rice with the carrots and raisins and bread, and we'll be giving it out later this evening, inshallah.
Oh, looks like a beautiful iftar. I just want to touch on just this campaign, the Meals of Mercy campaign. You guys are doing work not just in Afghanistan, but in numerous other parts of the world. The focus on Gaza, is there an update on that and the work that you're doing in that part of the world? We know the humanitarian crisis that's been unfolding there. Is there continued aid that is coming in? Is AMA present and have a footprint in Gaza at the current moment?
Absolutely. Like you see what we're doing here right now in Gaza, we're doing the same thing. AMA Rahmah has teams inside Gaza facilitating similar efforts, feeding like this, as you see, lentil soup feeding, the distribution of clean drinking water, as we speak, to different areas inside Gaza with the water tanker. So that effort is still going as we speak. Alhamdulillah, we have teams who have the resources inside Gaza. And we really urge the donors out there to support the various efforts, whether it be in Afghanistan, whether it be in Gaza, because you know what's happening in Gaza, unfortunately. People are being shot from pillar to post, and they are in need, and the teams are facilitating as best we can. And so we need your support. It's a pressing time, it's a pressing moment, it's a dire situation. We can't wait for trucks to come in. When they allow the trucks to come in, we are working inside because there's a need right now. And people need assistance as we speak. It's a dire situation. So really urge the community out there, the donors, to support the efforts on the ground. African Muslim Agency, the Sierra in support, whether it be Gaza, Afghanistan, Syria, Lebanon, Sri Lanka, South Africa, Africa. Teams are present every single day facilitating initiatives like these to ensure people receive the benefit immediately.
And I'm getting word that Africa Muslims Agency will be having something special for Eid this year. Would you care just to share a bit on that? Which countries will you be working in? And I know you'll be working with the children, also giving some stuff to them. Can you expand a bit on that? Eid plans?
Absolutely. You think about our homes and our families and our kids and what happens on the day of Eid. Salala is obviously we have the sumptuous meals for breakfast, lunch, and supper. Alhamdulillah, we should have it. That goes on for days. And then you also have Eid gifts for different for family members and they just sharing with each other Eid gifts. So bring the spirit of Eid, like you bring the spirit of Ramadan to 23 nations. We want to bring the spirit of Eid to the children and orphans in these countries. Children in Palestine, let's give them a day that they don't have to worry about fending for their lives, but perhaps a day of joy and happiness where they get Eid gifts, where they're able to have a sumptuous meal. Kids in Syria right now, kids who've gone back home to Syria, gone to absolutely nothing, who are staying in a bitterly cold, who are staying outside, don't have the warmth like you and I perhaps. Let's give them a Eid gift. Let's give them sumptuous meals. Children in Afghanistan, orphan children right here, kids right here in Afghanistan. Over the next 2 days or 3 days, we're going to have Eid celebration. We're going to give them Eid gifts. And there are many, many orphan children who need support. Kids in Sri Lanka, in Africa, in South Africa. So the meals, to sponsor Eid meals, but also Eid gifts for orphans for 2,500 and sponsor those Eid gifts for orphans. Sponsor now so we can ensure the kids have a day of Eid, inshallah.
I mean, Hafiz, I'm going to let you go. Thank you so much for joining us. But before I let you go, we are in the final night of Ramadan, a time when you want to earn the most reward. Any word to inspire our listeners to get involved with the AMA to make sure that campaigns like the Meals of Mercy continue to making a difference in people who are in some of the most pressing regions around the world.
Yeah, absolutely. I didn't get most of the question, I got part of it, but as we enter the last few days of the month of Ramadan, as we want the mercy, we want the barakah, we want to be forgiven, we want Allah's hand in our lives. Let us share with people who are in need. Let us open our hearts. Sometimes, and in our human nature, we think, okay, Ramadan is ending, so it's done and dusted, and people have been fed. No, right now in Afghanistan, why am I here? Because there's a big need, not just only till the end of till Saturday, Sunday, or Monday, but beyond that. People need means before, beyond that. People need assistance beyond that. Beautiful brother here and many others need assistance beyond that. So support the organization, and one of the best forms of charity is to feed people. And so let's open our hearts, open our wallets, and feed people in 23 nations.
We're going to leave it there. Thank you so much for joining us and giving us your time. And hope you have a really great time in Afghanistan and continue making a difference in the lives of the people there.
Taqabbalallah minna minkum. Shukran for having us on social media once again and the opportunity to raise the awareness and the necessary assistance for people here in Afghanistan as well as many other nations around the world. May Allah grant the donors who have contributed towards the Wheels of Mercy and who've donated work around the world towards efforts around the world. May Allah fill their homes with barakah, may Allah fill their homes with mercy. Taqabbalallah minna minkum. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Jazakallah so much. That was Hafiz Hassan Choonara coming to us live from Kabul in Afghanistan with their Meals of Mercy campaign, where they're dishing out meals to people from across the world who are experiencing a difficult Ramadan. Even here in South Africa, I've seen the campaigns that they've been having. So yeah, really important, to support and to shed light on the people that are going through difficulties, whether it's political difficulties, whether it's caused by natural events like disasters. But I think during this month, you can get involved. You can make a difference in making sure that children, particularly children, orphans and widows have a meal, iftar meal this Ramadan, and also have a beautiful Eid, the same way you and your family will be enjoying. So if you want to play a part, you want to give a lending hand, you can visit AMA's website. It's www.africamuslimsagency.co.za, and they have numerous projects, and you can choose which one is close to your heart and which one do you want to contribute to. As I mentioned, this hour of News and Views is proudly brought to you by Africa Muslims Agency. And up next, we're going to be having hashtag Fired Up, which is also from the Africa Muslims Agency. This is a daily segment where we inspire you, we get you ready, we get you motivated to tackle whatever that's standing in your way. And the topic today from Hafiz Choonara, the CEO of Africa Muslims Agency, is when you're 100% convinced that you're right, you may be wrong. We're going to take a quick break and we'll be coming back with that.